Hi, I am Martha. I'm here at the Radical Birthkeeper Summit to talk with you today about Birthkeeper in action. What exactly does a birthkeeper do? Should you choose to have one at your pregnancy, your birth process, and post-birth? It's wonderful you're considering free birth, sovereign birth, woman-owned birth. That is absolutely wonderful. And within that context, you always have the option to have an ancient wise woman, a shamanic presence, a birthkeeper to walk with you for your pregnancy, birth, or postpartum. So I'll divide this up into three parts. The first part is, what does a birthkeeper do during your pregnancy? And the answer is, we walk with you. We build a relationship of trust at our connection meetings. We get to know each other on a pretty deep level. This is a very intimate time. Typically, the things we go over are logistics, who will be at your birth, to make sure everyone there is fully understanding that complete trust and responsibility is in you. Do you want to have a lot of people? Maybe just you and your partner, maybe your partner, you and your birthkeeper. Do you want to have your children or not? We go over in detail what's the best way to lay that out for you. Also, health. What are you eating? What's your stress level? How do you take it down a notch? There's always going to be some stress and some fear, but to come into your own, to trust yourself to your maximum way that you can, knowing that you're always doing just the right thing at just the right time. A third thing we often go over is the Hormonal Blueprint. That explains why when you're left alone, when you're left undisturbed, you maximize the emotional, physical, and spiritual health for yourself and your baby and for the world. A fourth thing we often could go over is what happens in system-owned birth, which is how most people, the vast majority of people, birth today, and how they've sabotaged the birth, the whole industry, so that you give up your power and you're in your victim mode, so you can say, oh yeah, definitely, I'm letting go of that. We go over that. We also go over what happens during pregnancy. Each pregnancy is unique, but what's typical to happen at 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, maybe ease some worries, ease some fears, ease some physical things that might be troubling you, just for you to just talk, let it out, and really take in your maximum health. That's very important as well. And if you would like information on some basic things that happen during the birth process, know that your baby could come to you anytime. Most of the time it'll come between 36 and 43 weeks gestation. Could be a little before or after that. Really how to connect with your baby and know that your baby is coming to you in just the right way at just the right time. And to say, yeah, this is normal. Yeah, this is what happens. It's not always in the same order. At some point your water will release, probably, although your baby could be born and call. At some point you'll have probably some mild contractions and then really strong ones and so on, but know that there's such a big variation of normal. And it's always absolutely up to you to trust yourself and to just connect back and ground and say, yep, this is normal, it's okay. And if you think it's not, then you always decide what to do. So that's some basic things. Another thing I would suggest we could go over, if you're being medically managed, is how much of that do you want to take in? So I certainly can share some information. Here's some things that happen in medical management. For example, ultrasound, and why they're really not helpful and they don't predict outcome and so on. Or, if you would like that information, if you're not being medically managed at all, if you're having a wild pregnancy, that's wonderful. Then we can just have one of our meetings be just walking and eating and talking, which is wonderful. So that's part one. What does a birthkeeper do typically, and there's always some variation, during your pregnancy? Part two, what does a birthkeeper do during your birth process? And the answer is, we come to you if and when you call us to you. So you've set it up that, yes, I would like this wonderful birthkeeper's presence at my birth, and most likely you will. So you give a quick call, or have your partner or another family member give a call. I come over. Most likely I'll end up staying. If it's really early, we'll just tuck you in, get you a little food so you have some sleep, and I'll come back. If you just are rocking it out alone in the bathroom or breathing into your husband and it's like off the radar to even call me, that's fine. I'll come after baby's born. You know, it's going to be really intuitive and just you doing the right thing at the moment. So once I'm there, we'll have it planned before somewhat what the general idea is going to be. If you're planning a water birth, who's at the birth, who's not, plenty of food lined up. So what do I do? First is a grounding presence, almost a shamanic presence. I've got one foot definitely grounding, but I'm also connecting to the spirit world too, so that you can stay grounded. I'm holding space and you can connect as you need to the spirit world and the grounding and your baby. I may be with you in a more labor support role, depending on what's going on, that counter pressure, that kind of thing. Most likely I'll be one room away and come to you if and when you call me to you, because you're birthing undisturbed. You're in your primal zone. You've got your hormonal blueprint going. It's wonderful. The other thing is reading the energy in the room, in the home. So like say you had your kids there, that's great. If everything's rocking out fine, that's wonderful. But if it's clear you're like, really need someone to take the kids, then I read that energy, I take the kids. If you really haven't drank water in a while, then I will bring you water proactively. Again, you'll probably be doing everything perfectly in your zone, grounded, primal, in labor land. And shift if needed. That's the other thing I do. So if you're just, there's a good possibility you'll just keep going, your baby will emerge on your chest, everything's perfect. If you need a shift, so that means maybe it's your first labor and you're just kind of starting to lose it. I can't do this, I can't, I don't know what to do, like this can't be right. Then it's okay, let's shift. Let's all take a breath together. Let's walk outside for a few minutes, come back, and then you're regrounded, you're back in your zone, undisturbed. I could be in the other room the entire time you're in labor and simply come to you 30, 40 minutes after your baby's born. There will be food. There will be drink. There will be cleanup. Those logistics I would definitely be doing. So then there's your actual birth process. Baby emerges. She or he's on your chest. It's you and baby for at least 30 minutes just post-birth. Mom and baby only. And then if you would like, part 3 is I can come to you after that. Again, especially if it's a first birth or a first home birth, and say, yeah, this is wonderful. Looks like baby's breastfeeding well. Would you like some help? And again, this is only after at least 30 minutes to an hour where it's just you and baby. And you may be already just settled in beautifully with baby. I can just bring you food and a warm blanket, clean up as needed. It depends what's needed. If you would like some help with the placenta, I can help you with that. Even if it's just clearing the space so that you have privacy to birth your placenta, I can do that. And making sure you're all tucked in and snuggled and wonderful with baby before I head on out. And then I would most likely check on you, of course, a few times after your baby is born. And again, each of us are going to do things uniquely and unique to each birthing woman. The main thing is you are in charge. You are the goddess. This is a divine feminine birth. And I, as your birth keeper, am there grounding, holding space, loving you up. That is the summary version. So there's so much more that we would do and talk about with any of the birth keepers here once you met with us and decided to work with one of us. So thank you for listening. Have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you, Martha.